Good evening, viewers. This is BVI Channel 1, and we are live on Biafra Discourse. Tonight, we are bringing you the live program to discuss what is happening, especially among African nations, and concentrating on the very topical issue that someone have already written a book on, saying, in Biafra, Africa died. And today we are saying and considering, in Biafra, Africa shall rise again. What is it about this spirit of Biafra that is awakening among different nations? What does that imply? And how are we going to go about it? We're going to be joined tonight by a team of Biafrans across the world who are watching and joining us virtually from different countries to deliberate on this. These Biafrans are from the Biafran de facto customary government. But before we bring them on, let us highlight on this very issue, the Biafra. In Biafra, Africa died. Let us take a look at where we draw this inspiration from. I'll be right back.
In fact, Biafra was the first place that I discovered on the African map. And from early 68 to 70, I was listening to every bulletin, in English and in French, taking notes on what was happening, trying to find out exactly the, push and return and learning names that I didn't know, like Oweki, Onisha, Umuahia, and so on, until I saw it for real. After I met my husband, and I went to Igbo land in 1972. And I was very, very happy that I could write the foreword to In Biafra, Africa Died. Adds to the growing number of scholarly publications on what has been termed the Nigerian Civil War, with the aim of offering an informed opinion on the conflict which tore the Federation apart from nearly 3 years. Exploring issues relating to history, regional identities, national and international politics, and demolishing preconceived ideas and stereotypes, the author suggests reasons why, unquote, Nigeria is one of the few richest countries in the world in terms of its enormous human and material resources, and paradoxically, also belongs to the class of the world's poorest countries.
We are still on Biafra Discourse, and that is just a highlight of the book review where we drew this inspiration on this topic, in Biafra, Africa died. And what is it about this spirit of Biafra? The spirit of freedom, the spirit of justice, the spirit of true independence of African nations. This is what we're going to be talking about with some team of people who are here with me, and I'm pleased to bring them on. The Biafra de facto customary government team, who is already here with me. Good evening, gentlemen. Yeah, you can start by a way of introducing your name and bringing our viewers to know where you are joining from. Then we'll start deliberating on this issue. Please, can we know those who are there already? Yeah, go ahead. As I can see Udo were there. I can see other people there. Please identify by your names.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yes, this is Uchenna Mukenkwo. I reside here in Atlanta, Georgia, USA, member of the Biafra Discourse.
Okay,
Capacity of
thank you very much, Dr. Wokenkwo. It's a pleasure to have you here. We have other people there as well. They can unmute themselves and make their introduction very quickly so that we hit the ground running. Because what we're talking about today is essentially very, very important to every black race. Okay? Because what is happening in Africa today, there is an awakening that everyone must key into. The next person there, please, if you can hear me, let us hit the ground running. I have Ndubisi there. I think I have Udo over there. I think they can hear me.
Hello. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm Ndubisi calling from Biafran. Good evening, everybody.
All right, Ndubisi, welcome
thank
to the
you,
program. Ndubisi, thank you for joining. And we have Udo Were. I think Udo Were has always been a guest here. Udo Were, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening. And good evening, listeners and other members of the parliament. Thank you very much.
All right, we have one other person. Yeah. Thank you very much for joining. We also have one other person there joining us so that we can start hitting the ground running.
Good evening, Mazi. Good evening, Mazi. It's Edozie Nochukwu so.
Oh, okay. Mazi Edozie, good evening to you. Now, gentlemen, let's hit the ground running. Dr. Wokenkwo, please, what's your own perspective about this thing that is happening in Africa today? How do you see that? How do you view the African people rising, asking for their liberation many years after their so-called independence? What do you think about that? How do you see it?
Let me say, I'm very excited about what's going on in Africa today because it's a long-awaited revolution that we anticipated for a long time. That Africa will wake up. We have been a slave to the world for a long time. Now it's time for Africa to rise up and take its place in the world. Because we are blessed with a natural resource, but we are made it to be slaves of our ignorance of the Western world, using a few individuals to destroy Africa. But Africa is on the rise, and we have to keep the momentum to show the world that we are Africans. We started the civilization. It's about time for us to take our place in the world and show the world. It's time for Africa to rise. So I'm happy that Africans around the world and also the African continent are seeing the evil, the perpetrators of slavery done in our land, in Africa as a whole. It's time for Africa to fight the battle. The battle is ours. It's not a time to fear about whether you're going to die or live. You're already dead. Why would you fear about any human being to intimidate you? It's time for us to make a move. And when Africans come together, things will change. And this is a start. This is a start to change Africa for good. To stop our children from trekking to the new world in the process, and they will all perish because of the situation they find themselves in. We are blessed with all the natural resources created in Africa. So it's time for us to make use of it. So I want to thank all my colleagues in this broadcast. That it's time for us to gather all our people around the world and unite to make Africa great again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much for that, your contribution. To our viewers, don't forget you can actually be part of this program by calling plus 234-810-4545-533. All right, we have more other people coming in. Let us take the next person there. Give us your own perspective of what is happening in Africa today, talking about the awakening happening among African nations. I think we have Udo right there. Udo, can you speak up? You can unmute yourself. I think he cannot hear me. Okay, he can.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, go on.
All right, thank you once again, and thank you, the viewers. The situation in Africa, as we can see, is a welcome development as the African leaders, not just the Africans, have started to key into the wake-up call, if I must say, a revolution in the political scale. Recently, I watched the Kenyan president collapsing the borders of Kenya for the wider market in Africa. He said the border for Kenya, for businesses in East Africa, the Kenyan economy has grown in a scale that he could not imagine. Therefore, he find it necessary for him to expose Kenya to the wider market in Africa. Need a visa to travel to Kenya. If you wake up today as an African businessman and you wish to do business in Kenya, you just need to buy your ticket, book a hotel reservation, and off you go. He said in his words, if Europeans can travel freely in Europe to conduct their businesses, why should Africa restrict themselves from doing businesses together? Therefore, I want to use this opportunity to urge other African leaders to emulate what the Kenyan president has done. In Nigeria, as we see today, some states are making things difficult, businesses difficult in their states. And it is time for governors, senators, and other government officials to see a way of creating a more enabling environment for businesses to thrive. At this point, I have to yield for other participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We have the next person there. Mazi, please speak up. You can unmute yourself so that our viewers can hear you. Hello? Everyone is quiet. Yeah.
Oh, good evening, sir. Good evening, Mazi.
Yeah,
I
good
have a
evening to
very
you.
strong belief that the nation of Biafra is an epitome of everything that humanity will emulate, because we have shown it in the space of 3 years that Biafra existed between 1967 and 1970, in which case that even in the time of war, we were able to employ genuine Africans, indigenous Igbo people, who used their skills to produce weapons that were used for self-defense. And we also employed mental skills that helped to develop a government that was taking care of people in war in terms of controlling the economy of a war zone. You know, this is something that you rarely see in around the world where there are similar cases of violence or war. And we have been able to teach the world that even after war, we embraced people that we fought with as friends, as brothers, as Africans. Because the fact that we fought war between ourselves doesn't make us mortal enemies. This is what we are teaching the world, that Africa is a home for all and we don't have any other place to go. So we in African continent and by extension, Biafrans in Nigeria, we have a lot of things to teach the world. And Africa must begin to look inwards to what has happened in our history and then develop what the future will look like. This is my opinion. I so much believe in this quote by the author of this book that Africa died in Biafra, and in Biafra, Africa will rise again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that very submission. That submission is on point. I really appreciate that. Someone came in while we have done our introduction. I think two persons. One person actually. Please give us your name and fire on. We're waiting. Unmute yourself. I think apart from Ndubisi, who have made introduction, but let's not take from Ndubisi first. Then the last person that came in would make his own introduction. Hello, Ndubisi, can you give us your own remark concerning this topical issue?
Yeah, thank you, Chinedu. Greetings to everybody across the world. In Biafra, Africa died, and in Biafra, Africa will rise again. You know, during the Civil War, Biafrans were able to show the whole world that they can actually close their economy, and they close economy just like the Chinese did in one time during their economic revolution or development. They closed their economy and produced their goods, produced their whatever thing they need, you know, before they begin to open it. They devalued their currency so that their goods will be cheap at the international market. So within 30 months, the Biafra ingenuity were able to the whole world were able to see that heroes fought like Biafrans, not Biafrans fighting like heroes. So is that exploit that has lived in every single person born before the war and after the war. It is the Biafra ideology that has remained in our bloodstream. That is why anytime you mention Biafra, people look around you, you know. Biafrans were able to refine their, under war conditions. They were able to drive their cars. They were able to plant, have agricultural settlement within the war. They were able to assemble the best set of chemical engineers that manufactured Oguniga and other war gadgets. It was after the war that the world, using Nigeria, came together to, within themselves, agree that if you ever give these people a chance, they will take over the world. So they started formulating all kinds of economic and political policies to divide us. Now, Biafra we are talking of is Biafran ideology. us, we already Biafran by indigenous identity. Though so many people don't believe, some people don't believe, some people would rather be called Igbo. Igbo. But it doesn't matter whether you are called Igbo or not. Biafra as a name has existed for 30 months, and some people baptismal name has Biafra in their baptismal card. So you cannot just throw away that part of the history. But the point we are talking of now, this parliament, we are trying to sell the goodness of Biafra to the whole world. We don't want to project the negativity or stigmatize Biafra brand so that the world will be scared of us. We want to project what Biafra has. That if Biafra, Africa died. That if the world or African countries or Russia should embrace Biafra, will secure complete freedom. I mean political and economic freedom. And that is what I think so many patriots in African countries are trying to do. I've seen it in Ghana. Ghana president has been vocal. I've seen it in Kenya. He has been vocal. I've seen it in those young guys that executed the coup because the civilian government that they overthrew were servicing and massaging the interests of the West. That was why the military junta or guys struck. And I see the wing. I see the same thing happening in other countries. That is a big warning to Nigerian government to embrace due process of law, democratic rule. They give power back to the people, and the power of the people is greater than those few people in the government. That is what Biafran ideology represents, as declared by Ojukwu in Ahira Declaration. I want our followers to go back and read that Ahira Declaration. That would have catapulted us to modern society by now. But the world gathered together and suppress us. That is why all our brothers and sisters are scattered all over the world, enslaving to the white man instead of coming home to develop our land. Let me yield for now so that I'll give opportunity to other people to speak. Thank you.
You've spoken very well. You have spoken very well. We really appreciate you. For those who are watching, don't forget this is a live broadcast and it is coming to you from BVI Channel 1 Studios. We are talking about the Biafran spirit. In Biafra, Africa died. And in Biafra, Africa shall rise again, because that is where we are today. As thousands and thousands of Africans are waking up, as dozens of African nations are rising up to get their true freedom long after they got what they call independence. Now, I think someone there is there and I have not spoken. Can you give us your name and where you're joining us from? Then we now bring in other people that will join us again through the live call. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maza Chinedu. May God bless you, because I've been listening to your program since all these days, a while, for years now. And we learn a lot of things from your program.
Thank you.
My name is Udo Gwinya, and I always appreciate you. Continue your good work. And I follow you for many years. And I know that you're a genuine man. So I will advise everyone that listen to us, this place is where you will hear the truth, actually thing that is happening. And here we save you from dying. So what I will advise our people is this. Please, what is going on in Africa is not today. If you remember 1993, when 1992, 1993, Igbos, that is Biafrans, they are only based Lagos and some other place of all Nigeria, and they are doing their business. So suddenly, many people from Zaire, from Mali, that time I was in Lagos at electronics and electronics papers. Many others African countries, they are coming to my shop and any other people's shop, buying like 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of money. 200,000, and they trust Igbo, that Biafran. They trust us. They will go before they will come back. We will arrange their goods, and they love all Biafrans. Do you know what happened after 1999? When they say they have the back with Nigeria, they try to think they want to destroy Biafran. They try to think Nigeria want to intimidate people. Many of Igbos find it difficult for them to stay in Lagos or to stay in Nigeria. So what they did is expand their business to Congo, they expand their business to Ghana. Before Ghana, they are doing our shop, doing a lot of things in Nigeria, and they carry our goods. But this time around, when the 1999 everything difficult for us, they make Igbos people start because that time military are defending us. That's why sometimes I like military. You see what is going on in there and what is going on in Mali and all this. For my own, if it happened to Nigeria, I will be happy. I'm sorry to say this. Do you know why? Because that's 1993. We enjoy, because the Nigerians are better. All the bridge, all the bridge, that mainland bridge, when they did it, all the people in Biafra land from all the Nigeria is enough from when the military is ruling. But this time, since 1999, they destroy everything. Do you know that this time around, Nigeria make everything difficult for Igbos? They thought that they are destroying Igbos, especially Biafran peoples, by increasing container which we are always clear with 600,000 naira for 20 feet. Now it's around 4 million or 5 million. Nobody is sending goods again. That is why many Biafrans, they expand their business to Ghana, to Cotonou, to many African countries, so that they can be able to import their goods. Instead of that goods to be coming to Nigeria, so they expand it to be coming to Ghana, or to be coming to Ivory Coast, or to be coming to Mali, or to become. Oh, that is why a lot of crisis is happening to Nigeria now. Do you know how much is dollar now? Dollar now is $1 is around 900, getting to 1,000 very soon. So without Biafra Igbos, they thought that they would destroy Igbos, but don't know that God has blessed Igbos, Biafrans in different countries. So anywhere you will go, Igbo man or Biafra man will do their business, and the country will love them. That's what they don't understand. If they want Nigeria to be good, if they want Nigeria to be good, let them give it to Igbo. For example, P2B has come. If they give it to P2B now, you know, all this thing will stop. Many things will stop. And they will find how to restructure Nigeria. Then if anybody wants to separate, as they want to separate, they are free to separate. We Biafrans, we are not afraid of separation, but we are the honor of Nigeria. Without Igbos, there's nothing like Nigeria. So they're supposed to be even happy that we are in Nigeria with them. And they maltreat us, that's why we are running away from Nigeria. That make things are difficult in Nigeria. Okay, see the fuel. Because of P2B say that he will remove subsidy. That's this man that is here now, thought that removing subsidy is to come and just announce it and everything will start good. He don't know that Igbo man have another strategy plan. So he did it now. Even Nigeria is suffering. Even though the people that supporting him say that Ominako. They all of them are suffering. They are crying now. So the best thing I will tell our people is use your brain. This time around, if the judiciary cannot know that what is going on in Nigeria now, in Africa, is them that will decide if Nigeria will be we okay, or they will destroy Nigeria, or they will destroy Africa, or the Africa will be good, is the judiciary. What is going on in Niger? If mistakenly, because this Emineko want to go war because he want to maintain the power in Nigeria, because the law, after if there is war, then they will continue with he will continue as the president. That's why he forcing himself as a Emineko, making himself to go to war so that he will continue. I don't know why they see the power. What we are supposed to do, somebody that will help Nigeria, help people in Nigeria, make everything to be okay. Anywhere you come to this Nigeria, it's Igbo man. Even though the Niger, Igbo people is here. There are people everywhere. Why can't they give those people that making things to be okay in Nigeria to do them so that they see how it will be? But this one, because of jealousy and the hatred, that's why they leave Igbo people, they leave Biafran people, and they bring in all the illiterate people that is uncapable to be ruling to Nigeria, and that's why everybody is suffering. You will see somebody that is not educated, somebody that is private school, they don't have certificate, they will tell them to be ruling, to be ruling Nigeria, and to put them in position that people that go university, you see our people will have Dr. Mokempo, will have Dr. Akado, will have a lot of very doctor that you know that these people engineer, powerful people. But they will not bring these people. What they will bring is people that go to when they finish primary school, they will just forge certificate. They will put them there. Some of them in Nigeria, they say they're doctor. When they open someone's stomach, you will see them. They will not know how to sew it again. The person will die. A lot of people. A lot of things is happening in Nigeria. Why can't them call the people that are educated? We have a lot of difference. They are medical doctor in America, a medical doctor in everywhere, Europe, everywhere. And all of them, they are getting old. Very soon, all of them will be 80 years, 90 years, 100, they will not work again. These people will destroy the whole plan Biafran have. I don't know how I will tell our people to, these Nigerian people, they can listen to me. Let them listen. Remove this man that is in that place and bring people that is capable. I don't know why. That's where I will stop now, my brother. If I'm sick, I'm angry. I'm angry.
Be coming
Thank
down.
you so
Be
much.
coming down. Be coming down. Be coming down. It's not really funny, but I understand the way you feel. You know, while he was talking, I was just busy capturing and putting it into the picture of a wider African nation, looking at Nigerian case with the Biafra and how the world conspired to put Biafra down, to make sure that they don't have their freedom, suppressing it and thereby undermining the freedom of every other part of Nigeria. Everyone is stagnated. Just like we have in Africa today, where the freedom of African nations are suppressed. Like it was highlighted, and many of them pointed it out very clearly, how the Biafrans were able to produce their war machines. They were innovative, they were creative. At the time, during war situation, they were able to harness their crude oil, use the petroleum products to produce rocket launchers, Ogbunigwe, and the rest of them. They were able to do all manner of, in fact, during war situation, they never lacked fuel. Unlike what we have in Nigeria today, where you have queues, and we are still talking about heightened price, exposing the crude oil to the international market and the rest of them, thereby making the lives of the people very miserable, suffering in the midst of plenty. Okay, that is exactly what is happening in Niger. That is exactly what is happening in Burkina Faso, Mali, Cameroon. Name it. Name any African country. God bless each and every one of African nations with abundant mineral resources the world depends on. Yet African nations are backward, are impoverished. That is an irony. And that is exactly what we're talking about, that today Africans are waking up. That spirit of innovation, that spirit of creativity in Africans, they want to bring it to light and use it to transform their natural resources by themselves. We have Africans that are engineering the best, and the scientist that created the fastest computer, Emma Agwali, is an Igbo man, he's an African man. The same is applicable to different African nations. They have scientists, they have doctors, they have professionals in different fields, engineers, and the rest of them. Why can't we harness our resources? Why can't we transform our resources? Why can't we be able to harness these natural deposits and export the finished products? Or even, on the minimum, ask the so-called Western world to come in here. If you must take anything, you must take it as a finished product in Africa. You must bring down your plants here. We can no longer export raw materials. Can you imagine in a situation where you have the Nigerian Republic exporting uranium and all manner of other minerals, yet they are living in darkness, whereas those people that are taking these things out have electricity? It's unheard of. It's unheard of. The Uganda president was lamenting the other day about how some countries came to tap into their mineral resources. They have uranium also, but they said they are until they develop their scientists by themselves that will be able to combat them, they are not taking them anywhere. And if you insist you want to take you must bring your plants down here, and you cannot be taking our uranium to produce electricity somewhere while we are living in darkness. So these are part of the things we are talking about, and that is the Biafran spirit, the spirit that will, put Africa forward. The spirit of Biafra, the spirit of resilience, the spirit of fighting for true freedom of Africa. That is what we're talking about. And that is why we have gentlemen here from the Biafra de facto government who are also in this campaign to nurture, to educate, to inform Biafrans on the best way to go about things. Dr. Wokenkwa, please, I'm bringing you back again to give us your own highlight. What do you think about this whole natural resources of Africa being taken away, whereas the people are unable to transform that? Just like we saw in the time of Biafra, in the short span of time they were able to transform theirs. So would that, do you see it as an opportunity for Africans to tap into what they have to transform their lives for good?
Thank you again for bringing back. Like you just mentioned, the Biafran, during the Biafran War, how the ingenuity of the Biafrans were displayed. So the world saw our ingenuity, and they're afraid what will happen if Biafra was given a chance to be a nation. Now, at this point now, we go around the world, we see most of the scientists in various high capacity of mineral resource, processing and resources, and mostly Igbos. So we are all over the world, and they know our capability. You can imagine in Nigeria, we are a producing country. You produce oil, and you send it somewhere to refine it and bring it and sell it back to you. The same amount, the same money they send to you is banked somewhere in that country. And at the same time, they give you a loan. And that loan comes with interest. So at the same time, at the end of the process, you're getting nothing. We have the capacity to refine our own oil. We have the capacity to process all our mineral resources. I'll give you an example of this thing we're talking about in the Nigerian Republic. If France is able to harness this uranium and transport it to France and process it, use it to generate electricity, so they don't have any sense to say, okay, let us go to this countries and also do the same thing we're doing there, we're doing in our own country, in France or in America, and establish the same process so that everybody will benefit. But because of the selfishness of the Europeans and the Western world, or they look down on us, or they use the ones, I'll call those people, I don't want to use an insulting word, is the lowest among the lowest to rule over us. and give them the capacity to suppress us. So this time around, with the help of the social media or the media outfit, to show the world that we can do it ourselves. We can take care of ourselves. We don't have any need for your aid. The aid you're giving to us belongs to us. It's the money that's taken from us. So at this time around, the Africans have to wake up, especially the Biafrans around the world. We are the most dispersed around the world. And we have the assets, we have the capability to do work, to compete with the Western world in a higher capacity. So it's time for the Biafrans around the world. Come out. Stop hiding. Stop hiding. Come out. We only live once. We only die once. And every man is meant to die. Nobody's going to live forever. Because when you die, what's your legacy? What do you leave behind? You have children. What are you going to tell your children? What would your children remember you of? That you took them to another and left them there. So the Africans, we have the intellectuals, we have people that can make it happen. We call upon you to come out. We don't have, at this point, we have to be in the pedestal, to be our safe. We can save ourselves. Collective effort. It's something that all of us will come together and reason together and get this done. It's not going to take a lot. It's not going to take a lot. I remember when one of our Jewish friends here, when they asked us what we want, what did they say? They said, you guys are not organized. We guys are organized. We know. We know who you are. But we don't know who we are. Until then, we realize that we are the children of creation. That day, the whole world will change. Biafra will emerge. It's a matter of us creating the environment, not allowing our children to trek from Niger Republic to Europe. In the process, they perish. Can you imagine if that's your children? We're living in a comfort zone. Forget that we have brothers and sisters at home. We have people who can make change, who has the capacity, even without even electricity in Nigeria or Biafra land. If you see the talents that have been displayed in Biafra land all over Nigeria, to start, all over Africa, you'll be amazed. Despite the inadequate electricity, we can do a lot. It's all we have to do now is to come together as Africans. Biafrans especially, we are capable. We have to show the world that we are capable. We should stop being individualistic and come together as a group to change our situation. It's only us that can do it. We should stop blaming the Europeans and stop blaming the Americans. It's only when we show who we are that respect will be given to us. So this is what I have to say about this at this point. It's time for Africa to wake up. It's time for Biafra to wake up. And we should stop depending on individuals to save us. No individual can save us but ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. You've spoken very well and at length. Let's quickly start wrapping up on the program today. But before then, let's bring in Udowele first, then Udogu. I don't know if Udowele is still there with us. I think he's still there. If you can hear me, you can unmute yourself. Let's have what's your reaction when you heard that Nigeria was about going to war with our neighbors, Niger? And as well, what lessons can you draw from this whole thing that is happening in Africa today? Do you think that the Africans need themselves just as much as Biafrans also need other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria for us to get the true freedom we are asking for? Because in Nigeria today, we have the neo-colonialists answering our names. They are from the east, they are from the west, they are from the north, they are from the south. So how do you put this whole thing together? Udo with it.
Thank you once again, and thank you. Pertaining the situation of Niger and Nigerian government, I see it as a joke, a very big joke, because as for what you and me will know, or if I may say, what we can see, the military in Nigeria is comprises of more of northern and the middle belt before we talk about southern Nigeria. Now, when you talk about the northern and the middle belt, constitute the majority in the military. The northern part of Nigeria, those in the middle are more or less like their cousin brothers and more. And you're expecting them to go and fight. I see it as a joke. It's like sending the northern soldiers to go and fight them. That was a joke. So from the beginning, I know that someone like Tinubu, who is an illegitimate president of Nigeria, is trying to legitimize himself first. That's why he rushed quickly to buy the president of ECOWAS the way he bought the president of Nigeria. He thought that will give him legitimacy. Unfortunately, he never knew that something bigger was coming. The coup in Nigeria struck. And those who are advising him rushed quickly to advise him that this is another opportunity to reinforce his legitimacy. So he decided to call for war. A bloody civilian who is calling for war. That's what baffles me. Because if it was somebody like Buhari that is calling for war, you will understand. But somebody who don't know anything about war, did not even care to talk anything. The only thing that comes in his mind is that war is not, I don't know how he spoke that language, English, if I may say. So my dear and good listeners, I want to state categorically here that Africa is time for the people of Africa in general to take charge of their people and stop running away from their responsibilities. Libya, as we used to know, not the Libya we know today. The Europeans and the French have been done. It is to their own benefit, because as long as there is crisis in Africa, the resources of Africa will be going to Europe and other colonial entities free of charge. That is what they want. Divide and rule. So you're busy telling yourselves each other. When you're busy telling the resources, there is nothing to stop them. This continent of Europe survives when there is war in other places. And it will never stop. They can never change those ideas except we in Africa accept that fact that we need to take charge of our future and stop following the support to give solutions to our problems. We own the solutions to our problems. We have run all over the world, and this is time for us to reconvene and develop Africa. Biafra is not an exception in this case, in the sense that those who have traveled outside the land find it conducive for them to support violence and anarchy in their country. They are not living there. They don't know what those who are living there are passing. Few who are still there doing well have left because the environment is becoming more unbearable for them. Business cannot survive in an environment that is filled with anarchy and chaos. And at this junction, I want to urge our people to understand that it is where love exists that peace will dwell and prosperity can sustain. At this point, I would like to say thank you all. Thank you, Pastor Wilson, for your time and opportunity. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your contribution, Udogu. Udogu, when over to you now. Can you give us your own highlight with respect to what he had just talked about? What do you think about it?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Master Suzu. Up once again. May God bless you. I'm so much glad. So what we say is that yeah, my is to tell you the truth, my brother, in 2005, when I was in Nigeria, I be producing what they call video cleaner. Do you know why I run away from Nigeria? I run away because the people that importing it from China, and the Chinese people, they use police to chase me out. Why Nigerian people supposed to protect me that I'm the one manufacturing that video cleaner? Instead to protect me, tell the Chinese people, go out. This man is producing video cleaner. Why are you people arresting him? But instead that, they arrest me, they ban me, they tell me if I do that again, they will do this to me. They have taken me to many police stations in Lagos. Lion Building, Adre police station, Idiole police station, different police stations. They have taken me to 2000 and 2001. Then I decide to run away. So can you see that the whole talent I have, which I supposed to help Nigerians to bring economies of Nigeria, they have destroyed it for me to be in Europe here now, working for the European people, and they are getting their resources is growing up because I'm working there. The same thing with the doctors that we have. Many of them they don't have any in Nigeria. They don't pay them good. They don't have good equipment. They run away. Some of them is in America. Some of them is in England. Some of them and their resources is growing up. So going to war to Niger is going to war to Igbos, to Biafrans. That's what I will say. The people that is doing business in that place is 30% is Igbos in Niger. For you to go and do the war and destroy the property of those people, that's to mean that you are destroying the property of Biafran people, because you are the one that pursue them. The people that the Biafrans, which are making a lot of business in Nigeria in 1993, all the countries are coming to Nigeria and they buy a lot of goods and they send to their Ghana, send to Burkina Faso, send to different places, and now you drive them out. You push them out, and now we have got our resources in Niger, and they leave us to have our shop, we have our companies, we have our everything, and now you want to go and fight war because of your selfishness, because of you want to stay for 4 years. Please, I'm begging the Yorubas, I'm begging the Hausas, don't allow these people to go and kill our people again in Niger, because our people is in Niger. our people is in 30% of mineral resources of what the Ghana people are making now is from Igbos. They are Biafrans. They build houses there, they bought land there, they do everything there for them to be living because you don't accept them. In Nigeria, if they want to do their business, you arrest them, you destroy even they build houses in Lagos. You destroy the house, say that it's illegal. Now they build their houses in Ghana, nobody destroy them. They build their houses in Niger, nobody destroy them. They build their houses in many places. In Europe here, in America, many of us bought houses. Bought houses, nobody is destroying them. But we that say we are in one Nigeria, we have the houses in Nigeria, would go and destroy it because of your jealousy. How can this Igbo man, we have not get this type of house, how can only Igbo people are building houses? You cannot take what God has given to us. We are a child of God. No people know where we come from. Yoruba people come from, if you can say, look, Cotonou, Togo, you see where they're from. Go to Hausa people, you see they come from Niger or Mali, all these things, they speak, but Igbos, where do you hear their language? They have only one language, which is mystery. Why are you people trying to think that you are going to hinder them? It's not possible. What God written is written. So please, take your walk. Go to Yoruba land or go to anywhere. Don't take a walk. Go to other African country because it's where our people that you have pushed out, where they build, make their resources, where they build their houses, where they live peace. If you want your resources to pass through that place, you negotiate with the Nigerian, negotiate with them. Tell them, please, check how much you are going to pay them. Let them give you condition because it's their land. You don't need to force them. Forcing them is you are intimidating them. The same thing you are intimidating Igbos. That's why they run away to that place. So what I want our people to have in their head now is, if they go to war to Niger, know that they are destroying Igbo property in Niger too. That is what I want to put. Thank you so much, Azuzu.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. Someone just came in while we are talking. He had not made introduction and he had not given a speech. I think, please give us your name, my brother Mazi. You are in the car and you are putting on your face cap. You have been watching. Please, you are on live on the BVI Channel 1 Biafra Discourse live program. Please go on.
Yes, I would say good afternoon from here on City of New York. My name is Izuchukwu Okole. I am from Nnewi and also a mobilization administrator for de facto customary government. And I will say greetings to all the people in the parliament. And thank you for this topic. In Biafra, Africa dies. That's very deep, you know, because when you see what is happening in Africa today, it's most of the people that collaborated with Nigeria during the killing of Biafrans during the Biafran War. And you see every one of these regions are getting the test of what our people went through during the Biafran War. And when we're talking about the Biafrans, we have multiple talents that we are not able to put in place in Nigeria because of selfishness and jealousy. Today, we shouldn't be talking about just getting electricity. We heard about Toban built by Bat in Najinaba. If Innocent is manufacturing cars, and you see all these things being done by Biafrans. You know, in context of Nigeria, the government never want to support them, you know, to massive production. Then today we're talking about scarcity of electricity, and so on and so forth. And you're talking about our people, you go around the world. The influential people that came from Nigeria are the Biafrans. Anywhere you go, both in sports, entertainment, we all there. So those are the things that why in Biafra Africa dies, because in Africa to be united today, Biafra must be on top of it, because most of our people don't know that leadership is inborn. It's not something you learn. Some people might not been to school, but when in administrative activities, they're excellent in it. And when our people get to understand all this, that is inbuilt, inborn, that's why we are special species when you're talking about the Biafrans. So, Mazi Shedu, and it's not much to be discussing today, just that the proof of everything that is happening from election activities, you see what is going on there. And from there, Nigeria will be nowhere to be found in African map. Here, I will stop for that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for that, your contribution, because we'll be wrapping up any moment from now. We're going to have a quick recap all through for people who are here to make their closing remarks and summary of whatever we've talked about. Because of time, we'll be wrapping up. But we will continue on this topic subsequently this week as we progress and evaluate things and continue to conscientize our people, Africans as a whole, on the need to embrace the spirit of Biafra. And understanding the spirit of Biafra is our commitment on this platform. The spirit of innovation, the progressive spirit, the spirit for freedom, true freedom, the spirit of equity, fairness, and justice. Anything outside this is not a Biafran spirit. Anyone that calls himself a Biafran and not exhibit this character is not a true Biafran. And as such, we want Africans as a whole to embrace this Biafran spirit and continue to fight for their freedom. Let's quickly take it like this from, I think NWC will come last. We'll take from Dr. Nwokenkwo and Udowele. Then we'll take from the Udogo. Then my brother there, you have been there, but we've not spoken. But let me give you a chance to speak. Mazi, not Udogo, not Nwokenkwo. I think you're on mute. Just unmute yourself. Yes, exactly.
Sir, are you referring to me?
Yeah. Just give us a chip in something in regards to this last points that we've just tabled on the program. Give us just a point, then we'll now wrap up on our views for tonight.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to speak to the consciences of everybody listening to this program. My position is drawn from what Mazi Chinedu said some time ago in his broadcast recently. He said he believes that the IMF and the World Bank are one of the threats of Africa today. And I believe it because we know that they are using their economic system to frustrate Africa. In the wider context of it, Africa is still under colonial powers, and we have to remove ourselves from it by devising means, economic strategies that will help Africa to control its economic growth without the influence of the Western world or outside Africa as a continent. Then I am of the opinion that every African person should be respected. There are individual differences and racial differences or national differences, but we are still Africans. If we are supposed to be humans, we should think ourselves first before going outside. We should not be comparing our growth with how far others have gone. So what it means is that we should look inward and look for how to settle our internal problems. The most important thing right now is to concentrate on the events of the war going on, or sorry, the coup going on in Niger, and know how to use it as an advantage or as an opportunity to promote Pan-Africanism, to remove Western influence. Even if we need the support of some other countries like Russia, it is also very important that we consider the benefit of Africans, whether it is Niger or Africa as a whole. We should look at the benefit of Africa, because we have seen the same events in the Biafran war, and we know that the only thing the white people need in this war is to bring in war materials, to sell war materials to us, for us to use it to kill ourselves.
For us to kill ourselves.
So, yes. So we should think Africa first before every other thing. Biafra has a lot of experiences that the world needs to borrow from. And Africans should study Biafra as a case study, to use it to develop Africa. We need to actually think everybody as one, every African as one. Even though we are annexed into Africa, we still see our Yoruba brothers and Hausa brothers as human beings. We are not fighting them as our mortal enemies because we have had war with them before. We are fighting Nigeria as an institution, as a state, not that we are fighting individuals. So our brothers from other African countries should still imbibe this lesson from Biafra and begin to see ourselves as one. Whatever the stooges of the West or the colonial powers want to bring in, we should avoid it, we should resist it. And I talk about resisting war. War is nothing that can benefit Africa. So we should resist war and resist every influence of the Western world. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you so much. And our viewers, let us quickly have a quick recap from our team of analysts today from Biafra de facto government as we are wrapping up on today's program, because we have fast spent our time. Don't forget that this live program will be coming up and all the subsequent programs will also be coming up. Don't miss a thing. Make sure you subscribe to be getting video updates and also notification when we are up and running. Okay. Now, I would like our people who are here to please, beginning with, I think we just have to start with Udowele. Give us your remark as we're wrapping it up on today's program. You can unmute.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, go on.
I want to say there is nothing that we have to do that never been said before. I would like to say that the message we are bringing, message of the Biafra, we ask you all to shun violence and embrace process and the most important form, the way of achieving our as events hold in Africa, let us not left behind. Once again, thank you all for listening.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Udowele. Over to Udogo. Udogo, go on. Please, Wayne. Let's have a quick recap, about a minute, to give us your closing remark on today's program. You can unmute yourself, Udogo. Can you hear me? If you cannot, okay, let's switch to Ndubisi. Ndubisi, if you can hear me, quickly give us your own closing remark because we are fast running out of time. You are there?
Mm. Hello, yeah, thank you, Chinedu. Yeah. My message to our people, the Biafran people, the Igbo people, the Jaw, the Effiong, and the other indigenous people in Nigeria, you know, for them to know, to stand up now, to be counted. There's a need for unity, unity of purpose. Let all the indigenous people organize themselves. We have common enemy. Common enemy are those white men or those Western countries that are after exploiting our natural resources without giving anything back, conniving with the worst of us to exploit the ordinary people. The message to us, I mean the ordinary people, is to gather together under a credible platform because the power of the people is the greater than very few in the government. We should learn a lesson from Biafra that resisted for 30 years. We were able to refine our crude resources, but today Nigeria shamelessly are telling us that the crude resources God blessed us back. Hello, Chinedu, can you hear me?
Go on, the world can hear you, although we are having network glitches. Go on.
I did. So, Nigeria shamelessly. I always feel ashamed of those professors and those educated people in power when they open their mouths to tell us that products uh, products will be imported and the price will increase to 700 and something naira. This is the same product that is refined by uneducated Niger Deltas inside the bush. Nigerian government will go there to destroy everything. I always say it's like, in fact, our education is useless. It's like mathematics is turned upside down. Why do we go to school? We go to school to solve our problem, but we don't solve anything. Rather, we go to school to learn how to corrupt everything and corrupt the system. So let this discussion continue. We have to continue this discussion. I want to encourage you to bring in Ahera Declaration. Let us discuss the content so that our people will begin to know. Because they said that knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. So many people don't have information about Biafra. The information they have is the stigmatization thrown by the agitators. Agitators that are doing the wrong thing. And whoever that is doing the wrong thing are the people Nigerian government will throw up or exposed to NTA or exposed to Sun or Vanguard to occupy headline, so that to be deceiving the ordinary people that this is the face of the Biafran struggle. Let the good people must stand up to be counted because power is not given, power is taken. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ndubisi. You have spoken excellently well. We appreciate that. Now, I don't know if Udogo Wenya has come. If he's there, he can unmute himself. Okay, you can unmute yourself and give us your closing remark. We just have about a minute for you to make your submission. Just about a
Thanks.
minute. You can give us your own submission quickly.
Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, we can. Go ahead. The whole world can hear
Yeah,
and see you.
thank you so much. My brothers and sisters, the people that are listening to us, I would like to inform you this that Igbo say, we have to have patience. God is at work. Everything will turn to good for our life because the Biafra we have suffered. Biafra have suffered. We have suffered. African people have suffered too. This is the opportunity that we have. The whole thing that is happening now, Russia and Ukraine, all for our own good. I'm swearing, all for our own good. So all ihe Igbo, ihe Chineke chọrọ ka o mee, onye nwa bụ ihe o ji mee. Bụka ebe m nọ ha bụ anọ m obodo ndị ọcha too. So ebe ha na ha bụ ike na anụ, but not for our own good, ihe ha ji eme. So very soon everything will be okay. And then getting other advice is upside down now. So since Igbos and Biafrans just wait patient, everything will be all right. It will not take time. So what I will say again is, please, if you live in Nigeria, you know how to be agitating or doing anything to make sure that these people will not go to war. Because if they go to that war, it will destroy a lot of things in Niger and in Igbo land, in our property too that we have in Niger too. And all the Biafran property, they will destroy it. So please agitate that so that we will not go to war. And again is the fuel subsidy, the fuel that is going to high because they said they will make it to be higher any moment. You people will not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Come out. If you remain dormant, they will still increasing all those things. But if you come out to protest, say that you don't need it, they will change. Because these people, they're the same human being you are. They are human. How if you pinch them, you pain them. The same thing, they pinch you, pain you. If you come out to say no, we are not going to accept that fuel because we are the one that producing the fuel. It's in Biafra land, they're taking all those fuel and crude oil and everything. Even though they want gas, they want to take to Niger to Europe here. It's from Biafra land too. So our oil is supposed to be cheaper. It's supposed to be cheap for us. It's supposed to be cheaper. So only one thing I want to say is they have to make sure they have patience. Everything will be okay. Thank you so much. I will stop here because I already reached that for you.
All right, thank you very much, Dogwenya, for joining on the program. And we are almost going round and round and round. Doctor, you'll be coming last. Let's take our brother before we wrap it up. My brother, please give us your own closing remark. Then we'll take Mwokenkwo last. You can unmute yourself. I don't think he knows that I'm talking to him. Okay. Can you please, Dr. Mwokenkwo, let's take your own remark quickly and then wrap up because there is no time. We've fast spent our time. Doctor, can you hear me? Hello, Dr. Mwokenkwo. I don't think he can. Okay, there are people who are calling. While we wait on Dr. Mwokenkwo to, take his own time to make his own closing remark, let me quickly look at our live chat, those who are dropping comments. We want to acknowledge every one of you who have joined so far. Meka and Glenn, Max, Mohando. We appreciate every one of you who are dropping your comments. Thank you for joining on the program, and we hope subsequently we'll have you guys back on this platform to watch more of our updates. And I think on this note, I don't think Doctor is around to speak to us. And if that is the case, that's where we'll be ending it with our guest for tonight. Okay, people, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate every one of you who have joined in this program in one way or the other. We really appreciate you joining the program, and we hope that you are going to continue watching and following our programs. You subscribe if you've not. Drop your comment. We would like to have your opinion on the topical issues we have been discussing. Okay? So, to you out there, thank you. Please continue in the spirit of Biafra, the spirit of freedom, the spirit of fighting for equity, fairness, and justice. Across Africa, it is time for us to be free. I still remain Asu Chinedu Peters, the advocate for good governance and the Pan-Africanist from the core. And on this note, I'm signing out and saying, may God bless you all. Until I come your way on this program and other subsequent programs, remain blessed at all times. Bye-bye.